presentation. And then we said, well, we might as well open it up for everybody. This Chip is good. Obviously, he's good at this. He's obviously good because you've got a lot of listings, so you obviously know what you're doing. And so we've asked him to do the listing presentation, and he asked me to be the seller. I said, I lay awake at night thinking of objections for this guy, but I didn't really. I'm not going to get to it.
Please.
Chip, to you.
All right, great. Hello, everybody, and thanks for coming out today. I'm excited to do this. Okay, what we do to start the process is we do what's called a pre-qualification interview. Of course, Kay Kennedy knows all about this. Kay and I have the same coach. So we're going to start with our team. Amy and Patrick normally do the pre-qualification process, and Vern is now stepping in to help with that. So we'll start with this, that Amy will call, and we'll do a pretend phone call with a pre-qualification interview, and here are your answers, because this isn't obviously your house. So
so I got to be given the answers.
Yeah, you don't want to sell your house, do you?
No.
You sure?
I'm positive.
It's okay. Great, because I know a pretty good listing agent, just in case. Okay, so what I'm going to do is step outside, and when the pre-qualification is done, and we're going to, instead of having the appointment be the next day, I'll knock on the door, and you'll let me in, and then we'll start the listing appointment.
Okay, so what you do is you have them call the day before?
Yeah, well usually several days before.
A week before, so that we can send our packet out to them.
Yeah. Oh, so you call the week before.
Well, as much as we can. I always try to give it at least 3 days so that we can go through the process, of getting all the information out, and determining their motivation. We also cancel a lot of appointments before we get there. I mean, the worst thing we can do is get there and be talking to a non-motivated seller or somebody that can't sell, doesn't have the equity, doesn't want to do a short sale either. They're not in a position to sell. As bad as that is, no motivation. They're just testing the market. They're just seeing what's going to happen. So basically, what we're looking for is the people, not the people that would like to sell. It's the people that have to sell for one reason or another. Now, those are the people we want to talk to, because those other people are just going to end up wasting their time, wasting our time. We're going to list their house. We're going to spend the money in the pictures. We're going to spend the money in everything else we do, and then we're going to not sell it. They're going to be mad. We're not going to make any money. It's a lose-lose. So the main thing is to find the motivated people, and that's what the pre-qualification process is all about. We start with a phone call, and then we follow it up with setting up the packet. And then Amy's going to do a second call to you, Liz, to ask if you got the packet and if you have any questions. And you could even, if you want to, you could even throw an objection at her then, and she's way handling that. Usually the objection is about commission.
How much are you going to charge?
Yeah. So I'm going to step outside and let Amy, yes.
One thing is, when we first started doing this, if Chip got the appointment on the telephone, sometimes they'd say, well, we'd like to meet with you. And Chip would be like, it's 30 minutes from here. We used to do that because we thought we would lose them. Now we found out that if we lose them over not being able to schedule them out and being able to do what we do, it's not worth having in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's scary, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, we used to be afraid. As part of the pre-listing packet, we send out our references, our last 10 sales, and we have a listing, price to sales price, and our percentage is really good. It's 99.1%. So we've been very fortunate with that. And then we also send out the CMA. Now, we used to be afraid to send out the CMA because we think, well, if they take one look at that price, they're going to cancel the appointment. The reality is, they get upset a lot, but usually they can't stay upset for too long. Or if they're just really have a big problem with it, better to cancel that one before we get there and spend another, half an hour to meet with them and drive out and drive back and all that. Because we can use that time to try to get more prospect for more listing clients.
We do send the listing paperwork filled out.
Yeah, we also send, as part of the pre-listing packet, we send the listing paperwork all filled out with the price, everything. Amy and Patrick put little notes on here. Have this ready when Chip gets there, please. Sign here, sign here, sign here, initial here, initial here.
You wouldn't believe people that have it ready.
Well, I mean, it's
so you got Eddie, make sure at the door with the paperwork.
And yeah, it's like, here you go. Oh, great, thanks. Well, I got to go sell your house now. That's a listing appointment.
So, you know, I think one of the
people think you're jumping to conclusions, but then others take it a whole different way.
Right.
I think the important part of what you're saying is not just doing the listing presentation, but you prepare for it before the listing presentation.
Exactly.
So
we answer a lot of their questions and basically get a lot of their anger, because they're going to be angry about the price, you know, and nine times out of 10, they're going to be angry about the price. Let them get that anger out of their system. And, you know, people, generally speaking, people can't stay angry for too long. So I'd rather have them get all that anger out and have them sit there and, you know, Fred and Martha are talking at the table. I can't believe that guy hasn't seen my house. What an idiot, you know. I'd rather have to get all that anger out before I get there. They might have a little residual anger when we get there, but I'd rather have them have dealt with those emotions before we walk in the door. And if they want to cancel, next, and that's our favorite word, next. So, okay, well, I'm going to step outside, and we're going to do 2 calls. You're going to do the first call, and then you're going to call back to make sure that Mrs. Loadholt got the pre-listing packet.
ring, ring. Hello?
Hey, Mrs. Loadholt.
Yes.
This is Amy Butler with Team Walsh with AgentOwned. How are you doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good. I was just calling to ask you a few questions before Chip comes out on your appointment.
All right.
All right, well, go ahead and get started. When Chip comes out, if what he says makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that he can sell your home, are you planning to list your home with him when he comes out?
Yeah,
Okay, and are you planning on interviewing more than one agent for the job of selling your home?
of course.
That's fantastic. And could you tell me again, where are you planning to move to?
I'm going to go to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? Well, that sounds like a great time. How soon do you plan to be there?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Well, that's even better. When we see you, how much do you want to list your home?
How much do I want to list it for?
It's on the sheet. $495.
$495,000.
Okay, well, what price won't you go below?
Probably not below $470,000.
Okay, how much do you owe on the property?
About $370,000.
Well, that's perfect. Have you ever thought about selling the home yourself?
Yeah, actually. Last week I started talking to my husband about it.
Okay.
And then Chip called.
Perfect timing.
Perfect time.
Would you consider helping to finance the home for the buyer?
No.
Okay. Could you just describe the home for me?
Oh, my goodness. 3,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, a room over the garage. It could be a 5th bedroom. And these are wonderful, beautiful, just beautiful, immaculate. 3 full bathrooms, all hardwood downstairs, half bath, upgraded appliances, 3-year-old AC units with a 10-year warranty, built-in cabinets, and shelving in the living room, floor to ceiling. You're not going to find a better house, a better condition.
Like a beautiful home. We look forward to seeing it. If you don't mind, we're going to send over a packet of information. Would you mind taking a few minutes to review that before we meet?
No, I'll be glad to.
All right. Would you have any questions before I arrive?
No, sounds good.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling back to confirm.
So then the day before the appointment will call. So ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mrs. Loadholt.
Yes, hello.
This is Amy Butler with Team Walsh again. I was just calling to confirm our appointment for tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Very good. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Did you receive our package of information in the mail as well?
I sure did.
You get a chance to review that?
Not yet, but I will before tomorrow.
Okay. We certainly appreciate it. We look forward to meeting with you.
Thank you very much.
Knock, knock, knock.
Hello? Come in.
Hello, Ms. Loadholt?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. My name is Chip, remember?
Hey, Chip.
Hey,
Nice
good,
to see
good
you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here's my card. And Ms. Loadholt, your first name's Liz, right?
Yes.
Okay, may I call you Liz?
Please do.
Okay, please call me Chip, okay?
Thank you.
If we just take a quick look around the home, just to familiarize ourselves, okay? All right. Looks fantastic. You did a great job.
Great condition,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Great, immaculate, well kept,
Yeah,
meticulously.
and nice pictures too
Yeah.
around the house. Okay, great. Well, let's just have a seat here and just talk a little bit about what we're going to do to get your home sold. Okay, so let me just review the information that Amy told me about when she called you. So, all right. So you are going to be interviewing other agents for the job?
Yes, same.
Okay, I'm a little surprised to hear that, but no problem. And where are you going again?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Okay, Costa Rica. And you wanted to be there yesterday. Okay, yesterday. Fantastic.
My husband is already there.
He's already there. So is it a good thing that you're not there yet, or never mind? Anyway, I now you want to list your home for how much?
$495.
$495. Okay, great. And you won't go below what price again?
I really don't want to go below $495, but absolutely not below $470.
I see. Okay. And you owe $370 in the property. Great. And you don't want to sell your home yourself, right?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
My husband's not here. I really don't have a professional director.
Okay, well, fantastic. Now that we have that information together, I wrote down some really important questions because I just didn't want to forget to say anything during this interview. So I prepared by writing down some questions. Do you mind if I just actually read them to you?
No, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Well, the first, I have three really important questions to start with. Number one is, do you absolutely have to sell this home? You don't have to sell this home? Okay, so you want to. Okay, so I mean, at the end of this interview, our interview, are you going to tell me you need another 6 months to a year to sell this home?
No.
You're not. Okay, so you're in a position to make a decision to sell today if what we say makes sense, right?
What you must say makes sense. I'll call my husband and make sense.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and this is important. Will you price your home to sell, or do you want it to sit there for 3 to 6 months?
I want it to sell.
You want it to sell. Okay, great. And you want me to handle the sale for you?
No, I don't know yet.
Okay, you don't know yet. Okay, well that's fine. That's fine, no problem. Well, one of three things is going to happen during our time together. Number one, you'll have the opportunity to list your home with me, which would be fantastic. I'd be real excited about that. Number two, you may decide not to list your home with me, and that could happen. And number three, I may decide not to take your listing. And you know why that may be? Because we can't agree on price. Now, if we can't agree on a price that makes sense to you, it makes sense to a buyer, there's really no point to anything we're trying to do. There's really no point to anything. Okay. So, great. Well, I just wanted to go over a few things with you in terms of what we do. I mean, I'm sure you're wondering, why hire an agent as opposed to sell yourself? And the number one thing that I would imagine you want to when you hire an agent is, hire an agent to get the most possible money for your home. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to tell you what we do to get your home sold, and then just see if you have any questions. But before we jump into that, do you have any questions about any of the material I sent you?
Yeah, I have a question about commission.
Commission, okay. Okay, now that's a great question. And as we go through the interview, I'll explain what we do, and then we can talk at the end about the commission. And what are your concerns about the commission?
It's too high.
Okay, it's too high. Okay, I mean everybody thinks it's too high. I mean, who wants to?
I'm not alone.
No, I mean who wants to pay 6% if they don't have it? I wouldn't. Yeah, so that's a perfectly valid concern. So we'll definitely address that later in our discussion. So basically, to let you know, but one more thing. Did you happen to look at our list of references?
Yes, I did.
Did you know any of those people?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Did you call?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't call. You know what? Nobody ever does. But basically, I wanted to have that in there so you know that this Team Walsh actually does list and sell properties. Okay, I'm glad you knew some of them. And feel free to call them at any time. It isn't like they'd be expecting your call, but I'm sure they'd be happy to tell you, what is it like to work with Andy Ship, and what is it like. So I'm sure they'd be more than happy to tell you that. So basically, what we need to do is, first of all, I want to tell you what we do to sell your house. And basically, most real estate agents, it's a very passive process of selling a house. It's, old traditional real estate people and agents, they put homes on the market, they put a sign at the yard, they put it on the MLS, and it's a rather passive process. What we've done that's different, what we do differently to get homes sold, is that we are very proactive. We have a very proactive process. Did you look through the marketing plan that we have?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Any questions about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, it's right there. It's our plan of action. Well, let me, I don't want to go through all 17 points. Some of them are self-explanatory, and you just told me you looked at it. But let me touch upon the most important things that we do to sell your home. And again, it has to be being proactive versus reactive. Most agents are reactive. We're very proactive. And the truth of the matter is, in Charleston, there are 4,000 agents. And unfortunately, 2,000 of them last year didn't sell a single home. Not a single home. And only 5% of the realtors sell 95% of the properties. And that's not my opinion. Those are just facts from the CRM. So it's important that you choose an agent, whether it's me or somebody else, that is going to be proactive and does something to go out and sell your home. I mean, it's not that I don't believe in the power of prayer. I do, but I don't think you'd want to pay me 6% to put the sign on the yard and then go back to my office and cross my fingers and pray that your home sells, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
You don't want to pay me 6% for that, right? Okay, and I don't blame you. So, you're not paying me to pray. So this is what we do. Basically, the first day that we list your home, immediately there's a mechanism in the multiple listing service where instantly, as we launch your listing, we're going to find a list of buyers that have a specific interest in your home. Very, very specific interest. And part of that process is we take very, very good pictures, beautiful pictures. We use a high-definition process where every picture is taken 6 times and layered on top of each other, and then the end result is a picture that bursts with color and light. It's sensational. The only problem with our pictures is going to be that you may look at them and decide you don't want to move. But you know why pictures are important?
Because it makes the house look good.
Well, that's right. And another reason it's important is 95% of consumers shop for properties on the internet first. So before we have any chance to try to sell your house, any chance at all, we have to lure them in and get them into our web, if you will, through a fantastic presentation. So we'll launch it on the MLS. It's called propagated. You'll listen, we propagate it out to about 600 or more websites all over the world. If we don't have beautiful pictures, that's the only communication that we have. And it's not just a matter of anecdotal information. Realtor.com did a study, and homes that have the maximum amount of pictures and that are professionally taken versus pictures that only have listings that only have a few pictures and are not professionally taken. The difference is the pictures, the listings with the professional pictures that use the maximum amount, which is 24 that's allowed on the CTAR MLS, get 500 times more traffic.
Wow,
It came from Realtor.com, the #1 portal in the world.
Can you take the pictures yourself?
No, we actually have a member of our team that has invented a high-definition process. It's absolutely spectacular. It's just that the only problem is you may look at the pictures and decide you really don't want to let go of this house, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, the fact that we take beautiful pictures is not a reason to hire me. It's good.
Because anybody can do that.
Well, anybody can do that, right? I mean, all good realtors are going to do that. All good realtors are going to do a good write-up. And, I worked at Madison Avenue for 26 years in New York, and I wrote ad copy. I actually used to be in the record ad copy. And I wrote ad copy for Mariah Carey and people like that. So I have a background of writing marketing materials to capture consumers' attention. But even that, that sounds great, but the reality is that's not a reason to hire us either. The thing that makes us different and helps us get 99.1% of our list price for the listings that we sell is the following. Again, it's a proactive process. The day your listing is launched, we get a list of about 200 buyers. Okay, and they're not identified by name; they're identified by a prospect. So the first thing we do is we email all those agents. We email and say prospect number 19822, and they can look up who that is. They have put this house in their favorite search. And then we follow it up with a call to say, that email you got was not a spam. It was really from us. And we want to give you the list of features and benefits that this home has.
You mean you follow up the emails with a phone call to the other agents?
Every one of them. And that's the power of a team. I'm not a one-man band. I don't know how realtors that do it by themselves do it. I can't either. But we have the power of 5 people that are working for you for the sole purpose of selling your house. And we have the manpower to get out and we call these agents because 99.9% of the buyers you're going to find are going to be through these agents. So we go out and we reach these agents. Okay, we give them the reasons why. Not only is this house, your house, in their buyer's favorite search, but they give them reasons why they should come out and look at it. So we increase our showings tremendously by doing that. But that's not where it ends. The other thing is, as soon as the listing appointment is made or a showing appointment, we are notified by this company called Showing Time. And we call them on the way to the house because they haven't seen the house. So we reiterate with the buyer's agent, the showing agent, and we actually really start the conversation this way. Hi, this is Chip from Team Walsh, and I appreciate you showing our listing on White Point Boulevard in James Island today. Would you like to make some money today? You know what? Almost all the time they say yes. Can you imagine that? And so I say, well, I'm going to tell you all the things you need to know to sell this house. You have something to write with, and I'll make sure they have something to write with. These are the 5 things you need to show about this house to your buyer to have the best chance of selling it. Would you write these things down for me? And they do. And then, so now we've prepared them. And then we take it a step further. Immediately after the showing, again, this comes down to the 5 people versus the average realtor that's 1 person by themselves. We call them after the showing as soon as possible, as soon as we can get them on the phone. How did the showing go? And a lot of times, well, it'll be like, well, we didn't like it because it was wrong floor plan or who knows what. But whenever we get a glimmer of hope, or this is my favorite, when they say, well, you're close. You're in the top 3, you're close. And in my mind, close is important only in 2 cases. Really, I love being close when I'm playing horseshoes. And when I'm standing in a hand grenade, I don't want to be close. But in terms of real estate, close doesn't mean a single thing. It's either you get the deal or you don't get the deal. So what do we do to get the deal? Basically, we interview the showing agent. Okay, we're close. That's fantastic, and I appreciate that. What is it that they liked about the house? And they tell us. Can you tell me more about the buyer? Is there something we could do to push this process over the line so that they decide this is the house for them? Is there anything at all? Anything you can tell me? And then we try to get into the minds of the buyer. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I think our belief is that buying a home is actually it's a financial decision, sure, because you have to buy a home within your price range, but more than that, it's an emotional decision. This is going to be your new home. So we find that the buying process of a home is much more driven by emotion than logic. So what we want to do is create the sense that your home is the right home for that buyer. And when they decide it's the right home, they become the right buyer. And their objections about price and other things go away when they become emotionally attached to it.
So basically, you're telling me you sell the other agents.
Absolutely.
On your listings.
Exactly. Because that's where the buyers come from. I mean, the chances of us bringing our own buyer are remote, to be honest. And I'll tell you why. It's the math. There are 4,000 agents out there, and there's Team Walsh. Is it more likely that one of the 4,000 is going to find your buyer, or more likely that one of the 5 is going to find your buyer? It's obvious, isn't it? It's going to be one of the 4,000, more than likely. So we need to reach out to the agent community. So basically, we then take it one step further. We find out what the emotional hot buttons, we call them emotional hot buttons, are with the buyers. And the next step we do is we use a process to initiate a sale. And we've put more than half of our deals together doing this process. It's called a reverse offer. Do you know what a reverse offer is?
No, you explain it to me.
Okay. A normal offer, a forward offer, regular offer, goes from what? From the buyer to the seller, right? The offer is made from the buyer to the seller. A reverse offer goes from the seller to the buyer. Okay? So what we do to make something happen and not sit back and pray and cross our fingers, which you're not paying me to do, we reach out and we put a lot of deals in with a reverse offer. And I'll come to you with a list of the hot buttons for the buyer. Now, you may not like the hot buttons, and we just have to let it go. But if it's something that you can deal with, we're going to do that.
I got it. So you get the hot buttons from the other agent,
Right.
who narrowed it down to maybe I'm in the top 3. Narrowed it down to get the hot buttons for those buyers. Then you bring those hot buttons to me, and we got a contract, and you get back to that other agent.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. So, and let me give you just one quick example of one that we did recently in Kiowa River Estates. We sold a home in February, and we were one of 10. You're close. You're in the top 10. We're one of the top 10. Oh my God! So we ended up getting the offer through a reverse offer process, and the tipping point was we learned that the owner or the buyer, soon to be owner, was an avid golfer. This property was on a golf course. We bought him a trial membership for $550 as part of our reverse offer, and that closed the deal on a $368,000. So again, is it logic or is it emotion? We felt like we touched this buyer's emotions, and we got the deal. So I guess with all that being said, do you have any questions at all?
Well, what about the commission?
Yeah. That's a great question, the commission. So I guess based on everything I've told you that I do in this 17-step process, I mean, do you feel like we're earning our commission?
That's mind-boggling, that's for sure. But I just can't afford 6%.
Can't afford 6%. Okay.
Not at $495.
Not at $495. I can understand that. Not at $495. Let me just point out the way this works. If a commission is reduced in this market, okay, and this is not my opinion, this is a fact. Only 18% of listings that are presented out there are reduced commission listings. This is a CTAR fact. Of those 18%, only 11% actually sell. So that's 1/3 less actually sell. So I mean, apples to apples, 18% should produce 18% of sales. 18% produces 11% of sales. That's a 30% decrease.
So you're telling me that if the commission's cut, then they don't usually don't sell?
What seems to indicate that, doesn't it? And why do you think that is?
I can't imagine, because a realtor surely is going to be honest and upfront.
You know,
the buyer wants to see us.
My team certainly would be, and this is not the way we do business, but this is not my opinion. These are the facts. If 18% of the listings have a reduced commission and only 11% actually sell, that means 30% less are selling. That means these agents are finding a way not to show those houses.
You know what? That sounds, yeah, that makes me know that we need to pay that other agent who's selling it. They need to get 18%. But on the listing side, maybe we don't pay.
You know, I can appreciate what you're saying, and I guess the question would be, of these 17 points, we go through them. Because I have 5 people on my team, and what we're going to do is going to get you a higher value. Let me ask you one question first. The average, do you know what the average sales price is versus list price in Charleston right now?
I don't.
90.5%.
90%?
90.5. It's 90.5. As you saw in our packet,
You're 99.
99.1.
Okay, forget 0.1.
Okay, so 99. So okay, at 475, okay, or 495.
95.
Excuse me. So, but roughly 500.
You already.
So 500. So you wanted to sell it about 500,000. What is that difference?
The difference between what?
Between
the 1%?
Between 99% and 90%.
Oh, I got you.
It's a 9% difference. It's 9% of 500,000.
Close to 50,000.
Right. So is it that important to you to pay me 1% less, or is it more important to pay us what we're asking for and getting 8% more?
Do you feel like we can get $495 for the house? Do you feel like we can get $495?
And that's why the
CMA didn't show that.
No, the CMA showed that I really believe your price should be $470, $490. Yeah. And you want to know something? You want to know something?
No.
You don't. What I mean,
it's frustrating as a homeowner.
I'm sure it is. But what do you think is going to happen in this market if we price your house above what I call the zone? If it's priced too high, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, from what you've been telling me, I guess it's going to sit there.
See, no matter what we do, if no matter what, let's change directions here. If this were a restaurant and it had the greatest food in the world, but it was too high priced, is anybody going to come and eat it?
It's true.
So, and here's another thing. Now I'm going to tell you something. You're going to think I have three heads, and this is going to go against every bit of intuition you have, and every bit of common sense you have. The relation between what you list your house for and what you sell your house for has nothing to do with each other. It's nothing to do with. You know what?
No.
Well, let's take an example. Have you bought a car recently?
No.
You bought a car recently?
Yes.
You did. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, when you went to buy the car, how did you shop for the car?
My husband does that. I'm sorry.
So, Boyd, how did you went and looked in the internet, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. Now, let me ask you. When you went to the dealership, did you pretty much know what you wanted to pay for that car? Yes, pretty much know. And how did you know that?
The information I got off the internet.
Okay. All right. So basically, don't you think that people that shop for homes are also incredibly savvy like that?
Sure.
They spend tens and tens of hours on the internet.
Sure.
And they know what they want to.
Well, I know because I do it too.
So I mean, basically, this year, half of our sales have been sold above list price. Do you know that? It was on the sheet I gave you. Above list price. Now, why do you think that happened?
That's strange.
Yeah, but how do you think that happened?
That's strange. I don't know. I guess you want to pick closing costs? I don't know.
Multiple offers.
So your properties get multiple offers?
Yes, and you know why? We go back to...
In this economy?
You know why? Absolutely. I mean, again, these people, you said you know them, right?
Right.
Call them. Call them. Call Ted, especially. We sold his, no, it's a different price point. We listed his house on New Year's Day for $150,000. We got 12 showings, 3 offers in 4 days, and we sold his house at $156,000.
You know what that says to me?
$166,000.
You know what that says to me?
Well, you know that's a very valid concern. But the reality is, if we put his house at $150,000 and we sold it at $166,000, what does that really tell us?
You're in the price.
What it tells us is that that's one point of view. What it really tells us, I'm going to present, is that basically the consumer knows what they want to pay for a property, and they knew this was a great value. That's why we sold it in 4 days with 12 showings in 3 days. And you know, when I go to the pearly gates, if I'm lucky enough to get there, forever and ever, God is going to have me negotiate multiple offers. Okay, because that's the great position for me to be in as a real estate agent. So that I'm gonna say to you, the reality is your list price is only one thing. It's a tool to get showings. I would rather list your price at a competitive price to get people in the door. I'd rather turn 10 offers down in a row rather than get no offers. Because if we have no offers and no one's looking at your house, guess what? We have no chance. Now, do you want to have a chance to sell this home or no chance?
Absolutely.
All right, so will you sign this contract at $474.9 today? Can we get started right now? I'm real excited to get this going. $479.9. Okay. I mean, we can do that. First of all, let me say this. We can do that. You're in charge of this price, not me. It's not my house. It's not my money. You know what? You know why I think $479.9 is going to hurt you versus $474.9? In your price point, and this is not my opinion. This is a statistical fact from Realtor.com again. What segment of prices do you think consumers like? And what segments? Do you think it's $1,000, $500,
$50,000. It's cheaper this price right
It's $25,000. So what does that tell you? If you price it at $479 versus just under $475, who are you going to miss? Everybody that's looking up to what point? $475.
$475, but then what about the people that are looking above $475?
Okay. Yeah.
What if they put in $475? You're a good talker.
Usually what they do is they put a higher limit. Okay. They're always looking for the prices that are lower. Do you think if somebody's looking at 500, they're going to say, I don't want to look at one thing below 476? You think they do that?
Probably.
You think so? Well, you know, you could be right. But the reality is, and this is again not my opinion. This is just the facts as we see them. we're going to get a lot more traffic and a lot more eyeballs at 479. Now, if you want to put it at 479.9, we're close enough. I'll take that listing. But here's the deal, okay? Because I mean, you're paying me and you're hiring me because you think I know what I'm doing. Right? You're hiring me. Otherwise, you shouldn't hire me.
Right.
So do you think I know what I'm doing?
You're impressive.
Do you think I can sell your house?
I do.
Okay. So here's the deal. We'll do 479.9. That's fine. But within 30 days, I'm going to tell you how this should look. Okay, within 30 days. I'm going to tell you how this. Every week, we should get a minimum of 3 showings. Every week. And after 10 showings, we should get an offer. If those things don't happen, I need your commitment. Those things in 30 days, I'm going to reduce the price to 474.9. Do I have your commitment to do that?
Fair.
Okay, so let's sign this offer. Let's sign this today at 479.
You certainly seem to know your stats.
Okay, well, let's get it done. I'm excited to get the process started.
Let me ask you one other question. You keep talking about your team of 5. But I haven't met those people. I just know you.
You know,
okay? Are you going to be the one I deal with? I might deal with somebody I don't know.
You're going to be dealing with all of us, frankly, because you're going to get the power of the team. And you know what? I've thought about this, and I could come out with a whole team of 5, but it's sort of like, you know, the Germans invading Normandy. You know, you might feel a little invaded. So we start with me coming out, and then if you decide to do business with us, everybody else is going to meet. You're going to meet Amy and Patrick. Vern is going to come out and measure your house. Andy will come out. Everybody's going to come out, and they're going to help put the listing together. They're going to meet you. They're going to put the lockbox and sign up. We're going to set lockbox. You know,
who will I be dealing with on a regular basis?
On a regular basis, you'll be primarily dealing with me. I'm the listing, you know, person, and you'll be dealing with Andy as well for communication. When we get to the contract to close period of time, Vern is a great negotiator. He starts to take over, and the paperwork is handled by Amy and Patrick. So it's a coordinated effort. Again, we segment our efforts because you want to take full advantage of the team, don't you?
Sure.
I mean, you don't want to hire just one person when you have 5. You hire just one person.
Well, I think it would depend, but.
Okay. And you know what? If you ever have any issues at all, you can always call me, and I'll be talking to you frequently as well. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, so let's get started.
Well, I can sign it, but I can send it to my husband. Well, I can sign it. You have to sign it too.
You'll have to sign it too. Okay. All right. Well, why don't we go through this paperwork? We'll sign it, and then when will you have it done?
Probably by tomorrow.
By tomorrow. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we'll have the team call you, schedule the photos, schedule the process, and make the appointment to come out and
Well, I
have
might just put a sign in the yard, so how quickly can you get it?
I can do that now.
Good.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
What about open houses or advertisements?
We've got 17 things listed here. We've got 17 things listed.
If you want to throw other objectives at me, we have
Open houses.
Okay. Yeah. You don't do open house. Okay. You want to know why? And actually, if you want an open house, you don't know.
I do. I think I do.
You do. Okay. I'll be happy. You know, here's another thing I didn't mention. But I'm an owner at a company called AgentOwned Realty. The company I'm affiliated with. I'm actually one of the owners too. So I have the power. I mean, that's a very powerful thing. I have a network of 450 agents. Now, if you want an open house, we'll do it, and I know I can find a great agent to be there. But to be honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, that'd be more beneficial to me than to you. That'd be more beneficial to me than to you. Because only 1% of houses are sold through open houses. Now, if you want to be displaced from your house, but honestly, we'll probably find a buyer, but it's probably not going to be for your house. That's not my opinion. Those are facts from the National Association of Realtors. We're happy to do it. We'll do it all day long. I want to be honest with you and tell you that's not an effective way to sell your house.
Well, what about putting an ad in the Post-Employer?
You know, that we've gone through all these different possibilities, and honestly, I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Most people don't read the paper anymore. Do you read the paper?
No.
When's the last time you read the paper?
I don't read that classified ads. I read the paper, but I don't look at the ads.
Okay. 95% of consumers shop for property on the internet first. We like to put our resources where they're going to make the most difference for you. Doesn't that make sense?
Makes sense to me. Now, thank you very much. Appreciate it. One thing that I wanted to ask for the people who are here that are not for the private member teams, what kind of suggestions would you have for them on a listing appointment that don't have 4 people to back them up? for people to know.
Yeah, well, you need to drop that part of it. But you do have a team.
You have a team.
You have a team at AgentOwned, and you're an owner. You're playing the owner card. You're an owner. Every one of you are all owners here. That's powerful. That's very powerful. That's a unique thing. Nobody else in this market has that. You own your own company. And it's not just some little company like Chicago Real Estate or something. This is AgentOwned Real Estate, #2 market share company in the whole #2 market share. That's huge. That's huge. You have a team. You all have a team. And who's on your team? Your mortgage banker, your closing attorney, Mama Liz, Boyd, Lisa's your marketing coordinator, your marketing coordinator, Wally and Burbage and Associates. You can get free legal consultation.
The reason I brought that up is I'm sure they're sitting there thinking that, we don't have full people to do all this running around and stuff. And you are, emphasizing, which you should because you didn't have it. But if Lee is going on his listing appointment, then, he can take a lot of what you did. But you just have to put yourself doing all these other things. But I think the point was well made that the pre-listing appointment package was done and sent before. Hopefully everybody got that point.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
You asked, one of your questions was, would you be willing to do seller financing? And you didn't bring that up. I don't know what the answer to that was.
It was,
Yes?
I said no.
He shook his head no.
I just was curious where you were going with that.
I just went right over it. Because I knew the answer was already not.
You stand in the door and told me no.
And then that opens the door to some very complex kinds of issues. If somebody, it's a great option potentially to tap into that resource, but there's a lot of hurdles that have to be overcome with it. And I was just curious if y'all had a way of overcoming the mortgage kind of hurdles and stuff like that. But that's probably a discussion for another time.
The people that do want to do it, and we've had a few people that do want to do it, it's a good tool because there are a lot of disenfranchised people out there who are self-employed that can't really get credit, but they make good money. So it is a marketing tool, and it can be done, for the right client.
So you're talking about completely owner financing, not like doing a second
Or
owner help.
any and all of the above.
Because if you do the owner help second, the mortgage company pretty much don't do that.
It's whatever works.
Right.
But, the ones I've been involved in, the owner actually did the financing.
Right.
The other question, Amy, Andy, go ahead.
I just going to say,
Andy, go ahead.
I'm trying to think this through as far as like a single agent. It's so much more effective having somebody other than Chip doing the pre-qualification calls that he's going to be going out on. That is a huge thing. I don't know how a single agent is doing that. There's reasons why somebody else does it.
This is my recommendation. Sure.
What'd you say, Lee? Your spouse, yeah?
Or get another agent. And you do his, and that's all right.
Right on, yeah, that's good.
Chip, tell them
Well, first of all, it's a process of elimination. Really. Really, at the end of the day, there's my coach. Well, I have a lot of coaches. Mama Liz is my #1 coach.
No, she is.
My wife.
Shucks, Andy.
Followed by distant seconds. But my other coach, is a saying, and it's so true. He says, generate so you don't have to tolerate. What does that mean? It means generate business so you don't have to tolerate idiots. Okay? The less business you're generating and the less opportunities you have, the more you're going to feel like you have to put up with someone you don't like. And basically, the pre-qualification process, we generate so many leads, is just that if I don't like them, I'm not working with them.
They're not going to be a team player. We do play heavily on that. We need you.
Yeah.
Without your commitment.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we can't want them more than they can.
The prices can't want them for $40,000 from CMA.
We cannot.
Yeah, we can't. We just cancel.
So let me ask you this. Would you all be willing to share your 17 points, your pre-qual questions?
Sure. Absolutely.
There's enough room for everybody to do well in this game.
Sure, there is, and I really appreciate your willingness to give.
Yeah, no
because
problem.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, if you ever have any questions, I'm on the roster. You know, and so is Andy. You know, all of us are. Just call. I'd be happy to. You know, I mean, really, I would love nothing better. And this would be good for all of our editors. Think about this. AgentOwned knocks Carolina one on the bus. And we can go out and I can say, not only am I the owner of the #1 company in Charleston, how far company for all of us.
Well, I can tell you too, you all know I preach listings. I preach it all the time. Everybody knows that and knows me. But recently, in the month of July, since Linda has been on vacation, for those who didn't know, she's on vacation. I've been Linda for the last 2 weeks and Liz. But what I've learned, I've processed quite a few, thank gosh, sales have been turned in. As a matter of fact, 29 to date since Linda left. Now, of that 29, 22 of them are listings sold. Listing's the name of the game.
Get a list of last. You don't, you won't.
You've got to list. And the neat thing about listings, you can go on vacation. Somebody else can sell it, make your money while you're gone.
Hey, let me give you one other thing about listings. I don't mean to step on Mama's lines here. But I do that all the time anyway. But
I have to put him in his place every now and then.
she does. And believe me, she does do that. I love her for it. But and this is again not my opinion. My opinion. They've done studies in this. The average listing takes 12 hours of your time, start to finish, to get sold. The average buyer takes 30 hours of your time. It's just pure math. Buyers suck.
But we need them. We need buyers to buy our listings.
I hate, but no, and thank God for the buyer's agents out there. I applaud you because I don't have patience. But if you just look at your time, the listing game is so much more efficient. You can make so much more money in so much less time. I mean, just do the math. Divide 80 into 30. That's the math, right?
One of the things, I don't know if y'all picked up on how much stats he used in his presentation. He kept quoting. And we have Doug Holmes gives us the stats all the time. And if you have not subscribed to his, I would certainly recommend it for $10 a month. And you can spit these stats out. Like he was spitting them out.
I use Doug's stuff. I mean, absolutely. Doug does a good job. He really does. I also use Steve Harney. I subscribe to his KCM, which is fabulous.
It is.
Fabulous. And
it's free.
And he listens. And it's really barely his attention at all. He listens to stuff all the time that increases his knowledge. I'm like, please just watch this TV. Because he's just been constantly throwing this stuff at himself. He's throwing all this stuff at him to absorb. And so it comes out of his mouth so easily because he can believe it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Well, I just love, I just feel like the luckiest person in there. I've got a great wife and I love what I do.
And you got Liz.
And I got Mama Liz, and I got Boyd. I don't know your name, but I got you.
Absolutely great.
Oh, thank you.
It was outstanding.
And I believe you did, actually.
Now, any of the rest of y'all have specific questions, Debbie?
Steve Harney. Steve Harney.
With KCM.
KCM, it's Keeping Current Matters. H-A-R-N-E-Y. Steve Harney.
You can Google KCM. And it's free. It's very good.
Well, it's $19.95 a month now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he started charging.
Sorry.
It's worth every penny.
What number do you put on your listing signs?
Our own personal one of the teams, is it one of those phone generated?
Oh, we have a 1-800 call capture. We do both. We do both.
How's it work?
The call capture is not working well. We got to tweak that. I don't know what's going on. It's not working. Yeah, the buyers have come through here blue. Yeah.
Let me say this now. The actual yard sign, you put your cell number on it, right?
Yes.
That's what I think you were asking.
Yes. I put the cell number, but we also have a rider that's a 1-800 call answer. It's a recorded message.
You never answer.
Recorded message. Well, I mean, you guys answer.
But we get prospect us.
The other thing that, for those who don't know, I track prospects every single day. What, 3 hours?
At least.
At least. I mean, Monday through Saturday? Monday, Tuesday?
I'm trying to stop on Sunday, but I haven't.
I mean, prospecting. You got a prospect. All right. Very important.
It's just all a numbers game. You get in front of enough people. You don't have to be good. You just have to show up and be in front of enough people. And you'll get good by getting enough. The more you get in front of people, the better you're going to get. Because you're going to practice. You know,
Well, the more you prospect, the better you're going to get.
it's self-practice.
Exactly. It is.
And nobody likes, I mean, no, I'm a freak. I don't like to prospect, to be honest. But most people hate it, and rightfully so. You get hung up on, people get mad at you. You know, it's tedious. You know, it's repetitious boredom. You're saying the same thing over and over. Talking to people you don't know. You know.
Well, now, I will say one thing that, because some of you are thinking, now, who am I going to prospect to? Who am I going to be calling? Well, he calls expireds, but he also does other calling. But if you do this, you're cold calling, make sure you use a service that scrubs the phone numbers for the do not call. Because
Land voice. Yeah, their services scrub out the do not call.
I have to tell you all a funny thing on him, and those that have been in business for a while will appreciate this. You can quit recording now. You can quit, please.
He's got a couple of good stories.
Everybody does. That knows me well enough.
Have you stopped it? Thank you. He called this past weekend. He was making last week.